I'm seeking anyone come.
Yeah, pretty good. Thank you.
So everybody knows recording started.
Excellent.
So announce that to everybody.
We still got 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just the privacy policy disclaimer.
Heaven sakes. Did a mediocre job updating the
And
agenda.
this mountain's got there. So, did anybody go to the Troy thing?
No.
It was pretty good attendance there. It was busy.
It's
Yeah,
technically July minutes, people, not June.
I set up a booth and stuff the whole week there. It was pretty busy after that. Oh, except for when it was raining.
Is anybody else going to the senior expo?
I am.
Okay, I'll see you
I'll
there.
be there.
We'll be there. We're in row 8, I think,
I
table
won't be
6.
there, but
Somebody will.
Meaghann will have a
Awesome.
booth there. That's like our main events.
Really?
Focus on that one. I mean, not focus, we just make sure to get enough crap over there because they all.
I figure they're just there for freebies and I don't have any.
Right. Maybe we get that for it, but,
You guys usually did popcorn.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know they had popcorn this year.
Hello,
Athens Business Association?
yeah, come on in. Grab one each.
Or, new members, I guess, or maybe we just haven't been attending.
Yeah, you know, we just got your application.
Last week,
Yeah,
week before?
yeah, since it was
Oh,
from last, since the last meeting, for sure.
Don't stick it down there.
So any place?
Yeah, any place you want, I'm Kyle,
Kyle, Dave Young?
nice to meet you. Come on in, I'm just
We'll do
manning the
introductions.
computer.
Okay. Want to sit here or just?
Go for it.
Sure.
Hello.
We are recording already,
Yep,
so.
that's good, good call, good call.
Don't tell anybody to do something. See if I know how to shut this thing quiet.
You already had.
Okay, thank you very much.
We one edit to the paper version of the itinerary.
Oh, I made more than one.
I just added the email thing as the last reminder. Yeah, at least the people in there.
It was on
They can
here.
have that, might as well.
I have a huge orange cat who can't seem to resist climbing all over my computer. He likes to go through and ruin anything I'm working on, so. He's pretty sure he's about this big. He's about this big.
I've got a big orange cat too. You do the same thing.
Well, we should probably call this meeting to order so we can start on time.
Before we get rolling, I just wanted to ask Gloria to bring it up during the meeting. You said we were gonna cover the
Our-
cruise new date?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I
Yeah,
thought so,
we're
I just
good.
wasn't sure about that, okay.
I'm Lissa Claiborne. I am the CEO, Executive Director, and co-founder of Rise and Shine Community Center, and this year's president for the Athens Business Association. I also own Lissa's Lifestyles, and just because I hate being bored, I work for Total Tax during tax season as well. Kinsey.
I'm Kenzie Watkins. I work and run Sweet Charlene's right across the street.
Connie Weber, the Endless Mountains Veterinary Center. I basically go to all the Athens, Rome, Mechanic, Montrose, and there you go.
Sarah Watson, I'm the secretary for the Athens Business Association. My husband and I are just starting up our own business called the Mars Collective LLC. It will provide employment support, training, and housing support rentals. Just kind of the tip of our iceberg as we get started. I used to work with Mackenzie, with Penn York Opportunities. They're another company with the ABA. They are other representatives not here today, but you'll learn more about them as well.
Do we know who their new representative is? Has it been determined?
I will ask.
Okay, thank you, Kinsey.
And I'm Kyle Barr. I represent Gann Associates Insurance and Monmouth Entertainment.
And what is your role?
I'm the, what do we call it, marketing officer, marketing coordinator.
Your turn, Dave.
I'm Dave Young. I'm an engineer with Moody and Associates, just up the way here in the old IR factory. And we moved down here from Waverly, I guess, almost a year ago now. 'Cause I've almost been here a year, and I started over here as they were moving in. So, we basically do all sorts of environmental, services and do a lot of water sampling, et cetera. A lot of stuff for the gas companies. But I'm an engineer, and I've been an engineer in the valley since 1990, so when I moved here, my wife told me this. So I've been here since 90. I actually have my own office over across town for a little while. Now I've been with various firms. Looking to retire here with Moody, so that's pretty much what I do.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Rochelle's on vacation, the lucky bum. So we're really not going to have a treasurer's report or communications report. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them now or to ping me later.
The report, you have them physically, you can check them out. Or is that?
Last I heard from Kyle, we're actually going to make money this year on the concert series. Woo-hoo! And just a heads up for everybody, we went ahead with our sponsorship renewal for the Greater Valley Chamber of Commerce's benefit dinner. So it was $200. I don't think it's on there yet. I don't think Rochelle's kept.
Right. So that was, we just did that last week, so.
Do we have a motion to approve July's minutes?
I'll motion.
And anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Was that you, Connie?
Yeah.
Excellent. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Sarah, you're up.
So I don't know how this quite goes as much anymore since our concert series seems to keep getting pushed later and later due to weather. But we had a request at one of the concerts that I mentioned to Kyle about a local bluegrass country type band. And the gentleman was and is still willing to put up half the money for the band, which is $500, so it would be $250. I didn't want it to just be in addition to the concerts. We already have them set. People already did that. But I also feel that the events that were supposed to replace our
Street fair,
our big street fair kind of all fizzled out.
except for the car show.
Well, and that was kind of half and half.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, so the cars, so based on what I had thought it was going to be, is I thought it was a 50s themed kind of event, let me say. Because the cars, I thought we were tying it up to a band that was going to be kind of playing that type of genre. And then I just thought that there would have been some kind of, I don't know, a little bit more some other element to it to let you know that that was the theme and connection to it. It didn't seem like any more than a Thursday night concert where all these nice cars just happened to show up. The parking wasn't pre-planned for them, so there were only like 4 or 5 spots that they had blocked for them. And then when the big bunch came, they were just parking them wherever they could. And at that point, the band had already started. People were already sitting. I don't think a lot of people went up and enjoyed the cars being there. And that's a shame because there were some really nice cars there. Listen, I'm not putting the ice cream shop down at all because I know it wasn't your idea to have the little root beer float things along with it. But I know that Becky said something about them not being able to get the little mugs or whatever to do because that's part of what had first been discussed. So none of that ended up happening and nothing replaced it. So like I said, it seemed like a Thursday night at the park. The only benefit was if you bought raffle tickets that night, you got a ticket to get ice cream.
I said, where we got the ticket?
Yeah.
I know I brought my husband because he wants to see the cars, and I said, there's supposed to be a show, but there only seemed to be cars parked there. I said, just nobody came. So I just figured it was canceled or just 3 people showed up. But yeah, I don't think anybody realized that there was something going on.
The major problem with the car show was that there was one already in there before we announced anything. And that's where the wave came from, is that somebody announced it ran earlier than ours. It was ending at like 6:30. Somebody made the announcement to that group, hey, I'm gonna head down to the one in Athens. Oh, there's one in Athens? Let's all go. And they all
Which
came
is
down
awesome.
that, which is awesome.
It is awesome.
So
So
like this,
they
yeah.
mentioned coming from Sarah.
right. it
I
was-
didn't realize it was
Interesting,
from that.
Right, like there was already a show, we didn't realize, I don't think anybody realized that. And I will say on the marketing side, if it was the like old school theme, I didn't catch that and I did not push it like that. So if that was the case, that's probably on me.
So just so I am understanding what you're getting at, Sarah, is that you think it's worth doing again next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think doing a car show would definitely be worth doing.
If we're going to do another theme, which is what they tried to do, we should make sure the music ties into that.
Mhm.
And we need to promote it better and possibly start earlier so that we check out to make sure we're not competing with another car show in the area, and that we can get across that we're not only having the concert, but we are having a car show in conjunction. As for the tickets, they did not give all of them out. We still have some.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I think Rochelle shared with me that we actually lost money because we didn't, for the 50-50, I think our portion, just a small amount, so it's not a big deal. But I know we gave Sweet Charlene's a $100 check, and I think we came in at $90.95. So for that night. So we should probably decide what we want to do with those other tickets. We don't have to decide that today, but we should think about it. But you also wanted to talk, was that a good recap?
Yeah, that is, yeah.
And then you wanted to talk about having an additional concert.
Well, and because I think this, I feel like there's the possibility to draw and have a event, not just a concert. And that's why, like, I threw out, I have to pull the email, 'cause and I should be writing some of what I'm saying, because I'll never remember what I say when I go to put it in the minutes.
Have this uploaded.
Yeah, that's good. Um, I'd like to do it at a time where it would benefit the businesses downtown. You know, I'm all for all the concerts and everything, bringing,
But it should help everyone.
right, and only doing it at that time, I feel like is just drawing it in primarily right there. Because unless I'm wrong, I mean, some of the businesses are starting to close around 6 o'clock.
That is correct. Most of the businesses are closed by 6.
So that's why my thought would be not just do it at a different day, but time. That way it really builds that whole community event. I mean, you don't have to have tables and floats to make it an event, you know, stores can have sidewalk sales tied to whatever.
So you're proposing, I know the Mars Collective was going to put up the other half of the sponsorship, correct?
Well, what I wanted to do was I wanted to not just myself, because I know it's hard for new businesses, but I wanted to talk to some of the other new businesses that have also recently moved into Athens and see if they would like to participate in sponsoring and see what I could get first, and then we would.
Do we know how much that band was going to play for? Have you talked to them yet? Just
In,
what their cost is?
in total, 500.
How long was that for, you know?
Their minimum, it looked like 2 to 3 hours.
And it's at 500
Steep.
steep, 2 hours,
Yeah.
but if it's, most people aren't quoting on a 2-hour show. That's at least 3, sometimes 4 if you're playing out at bars and stuff, so that would make sense. And if it's a standalone event, we could have them for 3 hours.
And you're thinking a Saturday?
So it just has to go along with, that what their open calendar is. I didn't want to invade on anything that we already had planned. I'm open, like, it's about the community and,
So what I'm getting at is, we don't have a ton of businesses open on Saturday either. We definitely have more than those that are open after 6 p.m. And I believe, Kyle, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, that if we do it during the day, we have to get a permit because of the noise and the traffic.
Sure, yes.
So that would, nobody's poo-pooing your idea, Sarah. I'm just trying to
and
make
that's
it all.
fine, and I don't know any of this because I've never,
It seemed like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but Chief was, when they handed us the reins on the stage, like, if you're having an event, just give me a shout, let me know if there's any, and that was
And
really
so
like,
did
that
Chief.
was all he kinda.
So should it go to Tim or to Mark?
Mark.
Okay.
I get that out for sure.
So
Pretty sure
we
Mark.
should be thinking quickly about a date. And making sure there's nothing else scheduled against it in another area close in the valley. And then we should give a heads up to Mark Burgess over at the borough, just so they know that this is happening during the day and then maybe a Friday. You also can, if you give me a heads up, there's nothing going on in the center on a Friday, so if it looks like it's gonna rain, you can always use the center for the band. So I think we should go forward with it.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing to do to bring in business downtown. I believe your strategy was to talk to all the local businesses and try and get them to be involved some way as well.
Mhm.
Excellent. Anybody else's thoughts? I've been talking a lot about this.
Yeah, sounds good.
So do you want to like try to come up with a date now? Because if we're trying to have this as an outdoor event, I don't think we can wait till the next one to
No,
make this
absolutely not.
happen. Like, it's gotta happen before October.
Connie, what are your thoughts?
I think, good, yeah.
I'll say, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, time-wise, right now, you're missing a Thursday because Dan and the crew couldn't do the one Thursday. So right now it's September 9th and the following concert's the 23rd. So if you wanted to pick one of the Saturdays in between, that would kind of,
Friday? I think that's what she
oh, you
wants.
say Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Friday, sure.
Then you can have the band, well, all
9/17?
sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was just gonna say, I was thinking that with, the band being there, maybe we could have them announce that that was going to happen, so that we
Right.
get out to all the people that are sitting there.
So here's what you may run into, because musicians usually have day jobs too. So you'll want to figure out the date ASAP, Sarah.
So what are you thinking, like a 4 to 7 event on a Friday?
I like that because it brings them, it still brings people in when businesses are open, but it allows the people who are at those businesses to still close and enjoy the very end of it.
Is like 5 o'clock, most of the businesses close, or
Yeah, that's most of it.
on a Friday?
Yeah.
They would have the option knowing ahead of time that this is going to go on.
Right, that if they wanted to
They
stay
wanted to.
open, yep.
And how about the, businesses that don't have, there's downtown, can they like set up a table down there?
I would
Is that
assume
what-
so, yeah, there's no
Yes,
reason not
I
to.
would encourage that. That's what I think of as community. If you don't have something right along there, or you don't have, you're not a retail business, that's how you're going to get your name or product out, then yes, we need to have tables and provide that information and stuff to people who are around, because it's the only way we're gonna get the names and stuff out and information to people. So I'd be all for having that.
So I don't think we need to vote, do we?
So you
I mean, it
said
doesn't hurt.
17 would be a good
Yeah,
Friday?
that would be
I
the
will-
most ideal
I will
for.
check
Is
in.
everybody in favor of Friday, September 17th from 4 to 7?
I will just, the only suggestion I'll make with the 4 is maybe shift it an hour to do the 5 to 8 or something maybe, just because I do the Free Marie's deck parties. They start at 5 o'clock on the button and it is dead until 5:20. Like nobody is there. I'm sitting there by myself, maybe one table for 10, 15 minutes. Then a couple more people start rolling in and by 5:30 it's up and rolling. And there's plenty of people, but just the potential that we're dealing with an hour and a half, kind of dead. Even if it started at 4 and it went from 4 to 8 and the band started at 5 sort of thing, maybe like it could be
Yeah.
before, just, I wouldn't want to pay a big expensive band to play at 4 o'clock.
I also don't think it's unreasonable to ask businesses that close normally at 5, if they want to do a sidewalk sale or whatever, to be open till 6. And then they can shut down, get some traffic then. When after you figure out if the band is available, will you make sure that there's not a concert going on at Mooney's on that date and that time? That would be awful.
Pretty sure we're safe, but.
They've only been doing Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Saturdays are their days.
Good deal. So anybody opposed? And 5 to 8? Based on Kyle's recommendation, does it work?
A lot of people can go to work till 5 o'clock, so I'm with you on, not very many people show up until 5 o'clock or later.
Sarah, were you thinking of doing a 50-50 raffle at this event as well? You'll let Kyle know who's gonna do the ticket sales.
We have people with tables, we could, rather than have people walk around, we could put it up next to one of the
Yep.
tables and just 50/50 the prices on it. And people come up and buy them for that event.
Yep.
If we needed to, so.
I'd be willing to set up a table and, do the raffle for my table.
Excellent.
Unless it's not raining.
Well, like I said, if it does rain,
Good deal.
we can just move it into the community center.
That's clutch to know heading into it. Can advertise.
Yeah.
If rain, same date, same time.
September 17th.
I will need to give a heads up to the surrounding businesses that it's.
But September 17th, I'm not gonna be in town for that day. I have a wedding in Maine on the 19th,
Oh, no.
which is Sunday. I have to check the calendar, but I just thought of that. I might not even be in town. Oh, let's see if she can get that date anyhow.
That's another business that doesn't have, downtown presence. We'll probably be setting up a table too.
Perfect.
That'd be good.
That would be wonderful, Dave. Thank you. Kyle, you wanted to talk about interns?
Yeah, just as, I was hoping, might get her.
I think that she may not be working over the summer, but
Yeah, I guess that would make sense, huh?
yeah, we might have to wait till next month, but.
Right. But, a lot of the social media stuff is busy work where, especially with the shares and stuff, we could get a high school student in to do something like that. I'm not sure what all the hoops and stuff we'd have to go through. But like, I haven't even gotten a chance to take a crack at those videos and CECs, Mad Hatters, Gannons, haven't touched them. So like there are projects like that that I've still got like on my list, but I just, between everything I'm doing, I just can't get to it. But if I could start chipping things away that I could, delegate that off to intern.
So Kyle and I talked about this a little bit in advance of the meeting. I also recommended that we look into a website intern and then maybe somebody who's in the media department who likes to work with video and editing. Maybe we could get one of them too.
Right, honestly.
We have enough to keep 3 interns busy.
Decent chance I could be 1 or 2 people too. They're gonna be from the same field a lot of the time. So, and even, actually, I don't know if I mentioned this to you or not, but I thought of this at some point. Maybe as a way to really get Athens as a active, engaging, is to ask if, the FBLA would like to make a new position as the ABA representative. Obviously, it'd be
Great.
for them to like commute to wherever we're going.
Has
But
probably have
we
to be
could
a
have
junior
the
or senior.
Microsoft
Yeah.
Teams and like, I'm sure they've got the capabilities, all of them now, to be able to do that in school from wherever. So even if it was, I'm gonna, step away to a quiet room and sit in on this video call for the meeting, and could be a good way to get, and then I bet you if the FBLA is just more involved, the school as a whole will also potentially at least be easier to get in contact with, at the very least, now that they know, okay, well, we've got our students engaged with them. We've got to make sure we're doing our due diligence, one would think. So.
Let's hope Blair comes back in the next couple of weeks.
What was your? Okay.
It's Blair, and I think it starts with a W. It's in the members contacts. Yep. Google contacts.
See if I can stalk her on social media or something, find her on Facebook.
Also mentioned to Kayla that these until we're up and running. A lot of times OVR has kids do, like job shadows, or job training, and OVR pays for them to go on site on the job and do these things. And occupational rehabilitation. Sorry, I start throwing around acronyms and forget. And that's an easy way, and it's normally, we say no cost help to businesses. And it's beneficial all the way around because the kids get the learning experience and training and
That's a good option.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just wanted to give a heads up that next month's meeting is primarily going to be strategic planning. So, we'll take a few minutes at the start of the meeting to go over all the necessities and talk about where we see 2022 going. Kelly, you wanted to talk about the Battle of the Bands?
yeah, I guess I do. Just Melanie approached me at the ribbon cutting it for,
For those who don't know, Melanie is the vice president of the Sayer Business Association.
about continuing the Battle of the Bands after the year and a half started. I don't know if anybody remembers, but our date was the day that there was a positive case in Binghamton. So the whole valley shut down the day of our event. So that was fun. I'm not sure exactly how to move forward with that right now, being that Mooney's and Tanner's, neither of them renewed as members. So I don't know if we want a little headhunting and see if we can condense. I'm trying to work with Mooney's on something for Monaco. Like hopefully that's will be the same contact person. So I could pretty easily get that one.
That'd be great.
But I guess if it was, with Mooney's, but they're doing all their music outside right now. That's the idea, right? Yeah, so beginning of August, I would have to try to contact all, it's only been 5 bands because it was only 2 preliminary dates and a final date. Contact those 5 bands again, see if we can find a date that works for all of them. And if it ends up having to be inside.
So I'm joking. I'm going to preface this by saying that in advance, do we have to let Sayer have a band again since they already got?
That's wouldn't be Sarah again. That's why I'm honestly was surprised to hear her bring it back up because they got their date. But she's the one that brought it up, and it would be Athens, and then our original plan was to have the second preliminary date in Athens and the final at Rail House in Waverly. So each town got one of the nights. If we are gonna do that, I will need significant help because I will be running all the sound and I will have no time to do anything else other than focus on the bands. So as far as taking tickets at the door, 50-50, like everything else I will need help with because I will have no time to do anything other than the bands. And Sarah, frankly, dropped the ball on their night. They didn't really have a sign, a table, anything. We said that there was no required cover charge to get in because those bars don't typically charge anybody to come in when they have bands. We didn't want to potentially drive away their business by having a cover charge. So it was like an optional, here's the suggested cover price. It all goes back to the associations putting it on, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't have anything. They made less than $50 on a shoulder to shoulder pack room.
Wow.
At Sam's, which is a big room, and it was packed in there. Jeff Lance was over the moon. Couldn't believe how packed it was in there. So I would just really, really hate to have that happen to us, because I'm running around, where we aren't ready for it. So if we are gonna dive back into it, I'll need some help with that.
So just for my knowledge, are minors allowed in for the bands?
Comes out of the bars, I believe, so 9 o'clock for sure. And I believe even after with adult with, guardian supervision. You can't be just adults, gotta be a legal guardian supervision. I believe is the rule. But honestly, most of that I'm used to thinking of is from my open mic night time in Rail House. I don't know if that's a New York specific, if it's different in PA versus New York on that. I don't really have to worry about it too much with my trivia nights that I do on the PA side.
I was
So,
going somewhere because if we're talking to Blair about interns, we could also look for somebody who's interested in event planning. And they could get some experience helping with the Battle of the Bands. I mean, what a great event planning experience to have under your belt.
for sure. You get some of these, you all gotta do senior projects still, right?
Yeah.
The thing. They're setting up events and queuing them up to these kids like, hey, we got the whole show for you.
Yep.
Step up and run the show. Yeah.
So I think it's a great idea that we move forward with it. And like always, we'll try to help you as much as we can.
I'm hoping I can guilt Sarah into also having people here to help us that night.
Since it was reciprocated last year.
Yeah, well. They made lots of, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And all of it landed on me. Or almost all of it.
Good to know.
They had the bodies there, a few people there that night. Like I said, they didn't have signs, they didn't have a bucket, they just were kind of like hollering at people as they came in a loud bar with a band playing.
Speaking of a bucket, can we borrow or have a Gammon bucket, one of those steel ones for tickets?
For
For the ABA raffles?
not for this Thursday, but probably by then we'll have a new order in probably.
Awesome.
Actually, that's when I went back to grab something. Kaylee reminded me, we got the senior expo and we were planning on putting one in. I've been waiting for Ad Graphics to get back to me since yesterday and they never did, so call Ad Graphics. It's right on I'll be calling to see if we can get those back in, but right now we have none of them. So.
Yeah, we're using
There
an
we go.
Easter basket right now, so.
It's more or less what we're gonna end up having to go out and buy if we don't get one of these buckets before Thursday.
And anybody have any concerns with us going back to Battle of the Bands? It even may get pushed to early 2022, right? If it takes that to line stuff up.
Potentially, it really depends, a lot of it depends on the bands and when they're available, because at this point, I feel like it's not fair to say, sorry, I know you were part of it, but because you couldn't book at the date we rescheduled it for, you're out, and we're gonna replace you with somebody else. So at least to the best of our powers, we'll say one of the two winning bands from Sayre got canceled, or didn't get canceled.
I'm trying to-
broke up.
everything else ready, and then we.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not since they broke up. One of their members moved away.
I just want to move on.
So
Got it.
potentially, I guess, if we gave them enough heads up and was like, hey, you guys want to do a reunion show, see if they can come back that weekend or something like it. As far as I know, it was good terms. So, but I guess there's a potential one of those bands would not be back to the finals,
I'm sure there's lots of bands that'd be happy to step in.
right? Have to ask one of the three the first night out. They just stick a band that didn't play in the preliminary into the finals.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Sarah, member points?
So I had raised the question to, Lissa and Kyle.
And Sarah Brackel.
Yeah. I'm not sure who all that goes to, that's why. I know you two read it.
I think even Rochelle's on there, she just never tests. So.
About the member points. Obviously, I'm the ABA secretary, which earned points by being that. I was with a different agency or company business for the first half of the year. I'm no longer with that business. Now I am with my own business. But that business has, retains those points for the entire year of me being the secretary. So I had raised the question, if they could be split. I'm not trying to take anything from my past company, but I was there till June. I'm still continuing in my role as the ABA secretary, but under my own business. As you can see, you know, I attend the meetings, and nothing against, because I know Mackenzie's schedule with Sweet Charlene, but I don't know that we'll see anybody else from Penn York other than Mackenzie and Sweet Charlene. So I kind of felt like it would be right to split the points. I don't think I had any other question with the points other than
No, that recaps it pretty good.
that.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go first. Does anybody have a problem with that? Because I have some thoughts about this. I've had time to think about it. In other associations that I've participated in, it usually stays with the company that you started with, because otherwise it becomes a mess. In this case, since Penn York chose not to replace you and have somebody acting as secretary, I think definitely we don't have to take the points away from Penn York. We can just give Mars Collective points you would earn as the secretary. Kyle, have there been other points that Penn York earned because of Sarah's work?
Yeah, I mean, that was when I got to this, I haven't updated this in a few weeks. I'm a little bit behind, but, yeah, I mean, as far as basically the way I've been doing it, representing Canada and Monocle Entertainment, is I just.
You double it up, right?
Right, I'm marking
Yeah.
out for each,
I think
So-
that's the best way to
so I
solve it.
can move, just did earlier, over, I'll leave any like sponsorship money, things like that, that like came directly from Penn York,
Mhm.
I guess, but like, other than that, I'll just basically copy and paste that section on over.
Great. Anybody have any concerns about that plan? It's very unusual for an employee to move from one company into another association company. Usually they might be working in Sayers Business Association. So it shouldn't come up too often, but it's nice for us to have a plan for the future. Any concerns? No? Committee roles, Sarah?
So that, I guess, kind of going back to the discussion earlier, with how the car show went. And just talking with Meaghann and Becky. When we're on the committee, most of us are chairing them, and there aren't people on the committee other than the people chairing them.
We need a lot more association members participating, yes.
So, I mean, that I understand to begin with, but what then, are there specific roles? Are there a certain number of times, those committees, should be meeting or doing? I guess part of my issue was with the street fair is we had like the list of ideas earlier on for events throughout the summer and fall-ish. And even at that time, it was, here are our ideas, but obviously we want others to participate in doing the event. And I don't know if it was because people didn't, or if the focus is more on next year. But we, you know, we had the one event with Mooney's that fell,
Because their manager left.
right, fell apart, but,
I don't know why
And
the chili cook-off didn't
and I
come out.
don't know what was going on with that, if there was any reach out to anybody else about like where we could do this instead of just, well, they're out, we're done.
I don't know. That would be a great question for Meaghann and
And
Becky.
I guess that's part of what
Yeah.
I'm asking, like, what then are our roles then within these committees? And even like myself, like with the B2B, I know we've asked the last meeting, we asked people to email information and pictures because we were struggling with the businesses that weren't attending, providing us information. So we thought maybe we'd get some hits from the people, and I haven't gotten anything. I don't know if Rochelle, I reached out to Rochelle, but maybe I already reached out while she's on vacation, and that's why I didn't hear from her. But I know that, like, I'm getting, like, I don't know what else to do to reach out to businesses. Like, I've shown up in people's businesses. So
It's always a good strategy.
you won't forget me.
So one of the things I think, this was based off of my project management years, is if you don't give people a deadline, people don't respond. Because people think they have all the time in the world to get around it. And everybody has the best intentions of getting around to it. It just doesn't happen. So maybe telling people that, you know, you need it by this, and this is the reason why, and this is what you're trying to do. And we just blast it to all the members.
Right, I was gonna say, if I could get a write-up or something to post in the group and include some emails and stuff like
Yeah.
that, I can start pushing it more too.
I mean, it's for everybody's
I
benefit.
didn't see it again since the meeting, and I had a whole list of stuff, and it just must have slipped off.
No,
my
I mean,
plate,
I
something like-
can't say I'm any better. You sent an email out that I didn't get, but then you followed up in our little Facebook thing. And then I don't know what happened, but I know I didn't reach back out and say, hey, Kyle, I still don't have this email, so I forget what it is that you asked for.
And I think, as far as committee roles, it has to be driven by the committee chairs. There's no more bandwidth for the rest of us to drive everybody else's committee. And I think part of what we've struggled with the last couple of years is other association members outside of those already on committees don't actually understand what's involved. So some people may think it will take too much of my time. You know, so if we can, as committee chairs, put together a little blurb saying we're looking for help on this committee. It's this many hours a month. We meet X amount of time, whatever, anything to give people an idea of what the role and amount of effort would be very helpful in us drumming it more. When I called for people to help with the triathlon, it was very specific in they meet it the last Wednesday of every month. And then they'll have additional committee roles if you want to participate. So does that help? Anybody have any more thoughts on that? Is that what you were getting to, Sarah? Did that?
Helps.
As for roles, you kind of have to, as the committee head, you kind of have to keep hammering away. If you need help, you know, beat us all upside the head and say, help. you know, most of us will cave in and help eventually, even if we don't have the bandwidth, because that's what we're here for. And we all want each other to succeed, which is the best part of being an association member. If you want to help organize a chili cook-off for the fall, I would be happy to donate the community center as the place to have the cook-off. And fall's the perfect time for people to eat chili. So, you want to circle back to them, Sarah, and see if you could take that off of their hands? Move forward with it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, maybe the officers we can talk to, maybe we should set some requirements.
Mhm.
If it's just
Well, really, truly,
once every 2 months, you mean, like, and it's like, at least gotta make sure it's not like, can't let it slip off the plate like there's.
right, most associations, and so if you don't know, my background is nonprofit management, and I've been in international association, running them for years before moving here. Most bylaws state committees have to meet X amount of time. So I'll be honest, I haven't read that far into the bylaws. I don't think I remember seeing it. So we should set up something like committees should be at least quarterly as a minimum. Some need to meet more frequently, like the street fair committee is a boatload of work. And it has to meet at least once a month. As it then gets closer, way more than that. So we can talk about this, add it to probably October's agenda. Maybe even strategic planning. I'll just make a note of it if that's okay with everybody.
Mhm.
And committees should also be providing written updates. I was very glad that Becky and Meaghann sent one in. And that should be done monthly by the chair. So,
That's on the email, I didn't print off every page of.
Yeah.
But you have it in the emails.
I will help Rochelle cook off. Help another person.
So that date for Friday, the September 17th doesn't work out and you can schedule it for a different Friday. Let me know, because I'd love to set the table and do the raffle.
Okay.
I looked on my phone and it is September 19th. I thought it was that weekend after we got talking about it. I just got a new phone, so I activated it. I think.
so we're moving on to committee updates. Gonna jump down to the street fair. Please read the attachment I sent out to everyone about what Meaghann put together for the street fair update, talking about the car show. They're still looking for book sponsors for the September event at the library. Meaghann would like people to email her if you're interested. And she said they would like to follow up on the donation planning for the Abuse and Rape Crisis Center. The library is interested in hosting a donation box for them.
That's Rochelle and the bank.
So I remember somebody talking about the boxes. And see if we could leave the boxes in the shops, but I can't remember where.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Sarah, B2B, anything new?
Well, like I just said, we're still looking for people to email us information about their business. Doesn't have to be much. Just kind of what you'd like us to highlight, some pictures. I don't have my MacBook with me. But I did a like movie trailers on one of the local businesses. And I offered, Rochelle and I offered to put them together for the other businesses to help just get out little bits of information to each other, be able to share them on our social media. Just a cute, fun, quick way to get the information out, that is a little bit catchy and different than a standard post.
It was really cute.
So please,
Why don't you write up a blurb? And we'll also get that out so that people, with a link, it was Shea Creations you did, right? So that people can see that as an example. I think part of our struggle is getting action items out right away. So moving forward, I hope we can get action items out within a couple days of our meetings. That way people can jump on board and understand that there's things to do and things to take advantage of, because that's a great option to have somebody do a little mini movie trailer for them for free. Okay. Your usual spiel?
Yep, I would say not too much different. The social media content, need that if you guys want me to post. As you guys know, I'm just sharing on Facebook. If you're not giving me the information to post, you're missing our Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn completely, and shares are significantly less reach than our own posts. So you're shooting yourself by not sending me that. Along with that, last reminder on the page you'll see, we made a new email for the marketing stuff. I noticed when it hit my spam folder here again. Could be because I've been marketing right in the name. That probably wasn't the smartest move I've ever made. But it's abamarketing18810@gmail.com. You can go into your spam folders, try to find it, mark it as not spam, or you can probably just email that account, just say, hey, it's me from wherever. I just want to make sure I'm not on the list, and I'll send something back, and hopefully we can get everybody there. Then for the newspaper ad, don't really have a whole bunch coming up this month other than fans, right?
I would think highlighting the date changes.
Right, that's what I was
Would
just
be
gonna do, the whole schedule from here on out, including the
Yeah.
the new dates, and I'll like put a special arrow or highlight those ones or something.
When is it due this time?
It's she can work with me on it, really.
Because it'd be nice to get the Friday event in as well. So,
Okay,
I
think we can pin that down. I mean, we'll have to be within
know.
a week and a half,
Yeah.
2 weeks, a very.
Well, I think if we're gonna
even
do
that
it,
has to be earlier than that, so.
right, if we're gonna do
Yeah.
it, it has to be quick anyway.
Right, that's true. Okay.
Otherwise, then we're into whether, then our only option is the center or indoor at somebody's, which would be Tanner's or,
Mooney's could probably pull it off for a nighttime thing if they moved all the tables,
right,
stacked them on the edge of the side of the walls. You open up that back room and have a lot more people for a band.
right, but are they gonna wanna do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
So. Okay.
Yeah.
And, what Kyle didn't share is, so if you have postings and stuff, it should go to that ABA marketing 18810@gmail.com. Sarah and I did not get a chance to meet this last month because it's summer and things are crazy busy. And Blair, as we all know, not around for the summer, so we couldn't ask her about the stuff that we have planned for the fall. I have not gotten an update from Sarah regarding the fundraising activities. So back to membership. Do you know anything from Rochelle? I saw that we got a couple more dues paid. Do you remember what her count is? We're up to like 24, 25 now.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember.
And we're nailing down who's a nonprofit versus who's not now. So that's helpful too. Make sure those people are on the list.
Yeah, I guess along with membership, the incentive scores, like I said, I am behind on updating them, so in your last meeting, I didn't put in the attendance from last meeting yet. For the volunteers from 50/50, it's not a ton of points to be given out this past month, but,
But if you're on the bubble, it's always
right,
helpful.
for sure. Yeah, so 25 is the line for silver. So,
Please take back, by the way, to your businesses, that the benefit about advertising in the newspaper, that's a great deal, you guys. So if anybody does newspaper advertising, you should take advantage of it. Does anybody want to host next month's meeting?
I would say, yeah, but, I don't think walk in that building. Be a little cramped.
I would sit on top of the freezer.
Yeah, there we go.
We can all sit at the little tables outside.
We would like to at some point, but I don't want something right away until Kyle, or Travis was hoping to be here today, but he's on vacation too, so.
So, well, we would love for you guys to host, and part of that is we'd like you to give a small presentation, 15 minutes, and tell us about your business. We love that. Okay, we had talked about Mad Hatter.
I was about to say, last time was at Matt.
Does that sound good to everybody? Unless it rains, and then I guess we wind up at the center as the default.
Did we already have, did Terry green like that already? Is that-
She did last month, but I'll
I'd
double
be
check with her.
surprised if she did, but just so everybody knows.
Yeah, I'll double check with her.
Check first before you show up next month.
She's always happy to see us.
Right, I was gonna say, I'd be shocked if there was a problem, but just something to note.
Yep. Okay. Anybody have anything else for the good of the order? We are having a chicken barbecue fundraiser, August 21st. If you have a window, I'd appreciate if you put it up. If not, can you please share? Your break room, whatever, much appreciated. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you. What a great meeting. I got through a lot and we're on time. Woo-hoo.
Kyle?
Since my computer worked this time,
That-
I don't have much more to add, so I'll be
Did it
able to
really?
get these
Who else is
to you
there?
right away this time.
Awesome.
I don't think anybody would.
Right, I was gonna say, the nice part, I've just added it to the print versions, the ones that got emailed didn't have that line, I added it right before I printed them out for the meeting, and just quick, like, oh, I'll throw that in quick, at least people that are here first will get to see that line, so.
And the other thing, you mentioned about doing the sound. My boy is actually trained in that. He's got a degree from Mansfield as well as from Binghamton, so. If you need any help on that end, I'd probably get him to help.
Live music or
Well, he's done,
studio stuff?
he's done all sorts. He's, the Dean Center over there, he ran a lot of stuff.
Okay, very cool. Yeah.
So, just so you know.
Yeah, it's definitely good enough.
You ended our recording, right?
Yes, I did now.